Now,
Yeah.
let me officially start it. Good evening, everyone. I'm Pranukesh from IBM first year on representing Inmost Club, and I warmly welcome you all for this online masterclass hosted by Inmost Club. Today, we have a very special session focusing on new product development in insurance, a critical and evolving area in the industry. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone to keep their video on and their microphone off during the session. If you have any questions or doubt at any point, please free to raise your hands or keep them in chat box. Towards the end of the seminar, we will have a dedicated Q&A session where you can clarify your doubts and directly interact with our guest speaker. Now, it's my great pleasure to introduce our esteemed guest for today's masterclass, Ms. Varsha Pandey. She is an alumna of Delhi University from the batch of 2015 to 17. She began her career in hardcore sales with Edify Insurance Brokers in Bangalore, where she worked for 1.5 years. Following that, she transitioned into product development in health insurance sector with Max Bupa, which is a key focus for today's session also. She later took on the role of senior management with ICICI Lombard. Ms. Pandey has always been committed to continuous learning and professional growth. Alongside her work, she has pursued further studies and has acquired an associate membership with the Insurance Institute of India and the Chattoraj Insurance Institute in the UK. After a brief career break for her marriage, she has recently joined Indigo Insurance in the Cayman Islands. Her diverse experience in sales, product development, and insurance management makes her the perfect speaker for today's masterclass. With that, I would like to hand over the session to Ms. Varsha Pandey. Ma'am, the platform is all yours.
Okay. Thank you, Praveen. Thanks for
Thank
that gorgeous introduction. I feel so proud of myself right now. Okay, guys, just for starters, let's keep videos on so that I can see you guys. I can see all of you. जिनके भी videos on हैं. If you guys prefer, we can keep the session in English and Hindi mixed because that's what we feel comfortable with. But otherwise, if we have people who do not understand Hindi, tell me right now. Anybody can tell that we have students in class that prefer only English, then I'll speak only in English. All right?
Ma'am, there are few students who only speak
Okay.
English.
Yeah, got it.
Raveen also.
I was included in that.
CG, anything and everything. And then we will start focusing on insurance and I'll give you insights about it. All right? Okay. So we are talking about what exactly is new product development. As the name suggests, it means when an industry, when a company, when anyone is coming out with any kind of new product of their own, basis certain features. Yeah, there are certain circumstances which drive a new product development in any industry. Can you guys name some? What are the 3 or 4 important thing that drives innovation in any industry? Let's talk about phones or cars or fashion, anywhere.
Customers' tastes and preferences.
Yes, Nisha, of course. So customer tastes and preferences is one of the biggest things. Demand, basically, in economic terms, demand from customers is one of the biggest things that drives an innovation. What else?
Market trend, possibly.
Market trend, yes. So if your competitor is doing something and you're not doing it, you're going to fall behind, right? So as we saw in the case of Nokia, you guys remember we had Nokia 1100 phones once upon a time. Nokia was actually starting to bring really good big screen phones I remember my dad having a Nokia E7, I think. I don't know if I'm correct, but that was a keypad phone. That was eccentric phone at that point of time, but somewhere they were not able to keep up with their competitors and they lost all the market that they had. So if you look at the number of phones sold ever, Nokia 1100 is the highest, and there is Nokia another phone, and then comes the iPhone 6, which was one of the biggest sellers of their iPhones. So they are highest by any margin. Imagine if they had been able to keep up with their competitors, we would have seen the phone markets very different right now. So that is a very good point I think Devansh made. Yeah, what else? Okay, let's talk about what are the things that need to be taken care of while coming up with a product.
Price.
What is the
premium
one thing that
price.
you start? Sorry, somebody said something. Khushi was saying something?
I'm fair.
Shreya.
Ma'am,
Shreya
premium,
saying?
premium we are keeping, and the transparency we have to maintain.
Yes, that is true. I think that comes when we are coming into talking about communication with the customers, right? That is a valid point. What else? Somebody
Ma'am,
said price. Yeah.
ma'am, encouraging collaborative experimentations with other brands. We can create
That is,
collaborative experiments with other
yes,
brands.
yes. So
That is
let's
going to
say,
make some new products in the market, and that is also going to help us reduce our cost.
yes, that is true. So these are some of the things how you can develop a new product, right? These are some of the ways, different processes we can outsource, we can do collaborations, etc. These are some of the ways we can do a new product development. My question is, what are the things that you have to keep in mind while developing a new product?
Current market size
Market size,
regarding
yes.
that
You
product.
need to know your market. Kaun hai, who is there, who is our target market? If we are selling a Cerelac, our target customer can't be 6 months old. It has to be the mothers of the 6-month-old, right? You have to target the mothers. So you need to know your target segment. Who are the people we need to? That's a good point, Dasmeet. What else?
Already
Ma'am,
existing
product testing or ma'am, there
Testing,
should be
yes.
product testing or product roadmap. There should be a product roadmap where we can think of where the product is going, who is our target customers or target segment, and thinking about that, we can design the product roadmap on that.
Okay.
Ma'am,
Balaji आज थोड़ा
purchasing
पढ़ाई करके
power
आया
of
है.
the customers.
Yes. Manya, I think, was saying something.
I said pre-existing market.
Pre-existing
It might be
market, yes. You have to
it might
see
be
what
not for us, but it might also exist in the market.
exactly. And Rahul Sharma writes products should fit in the market. Yes, of course. And then innovation is
Technological
very
feasibility.
technological feasibility. Yes, you
The
have to
product
see your
is it.
strengths. You have to
Ma'am,
see
the
your strengths and
innovation.
weaknesses.
Ma'am,
Devansh is
purchasing power
saying,
of the
Ma'am, the
customers.
innovation is able to resolve the issues what customers are facing as of now.
yeah, exactly. So again, what I think Jasmeet had said, demand is something which is going to pull your product innovation, but that is not the only thing which drives innovation in any kind of sector. So when we come to the slide, we'll talk about it. Right now, what I was typically asking was, when you are developing a new product, आप जब product बना रहे हो, when it is let's say it's a phone, when you're making a new phone, what is the thing you're going to focus the most on? When you go to buy the phone, what is the thing that you're focused the most on?
Price.
Pricing and the timing.
Cost.
Pricing and the timing of the product.
Pricing and
Price
timing. What
and the
else?
features.
Features, yes, who said that?
Fair.
Shreya, okay, got it. So Balaji, yes. Shreya, yes. Features, pricing. These two are biggest determinants of how your market is going to behave or how your product is going to fare in the new market, right? So let's start with features. Of course, if you're going to buy a phone, so Balaji, I think, is a kind of customer who looks at, oh, the new iPhone is in the market and it is within my budget. Let's just buy it. I think he is not the kind of customer who is going to look at features too much. Looks like he's kind of a tech geek who enjoys new products, just testing them, buying them just to see how it works because he has the money. So his budget is the biggest constraint for him. If it fits in his budget, he's going to buy and try it, right? One of the biggest one, even bigger than that factor, is of course the feature of the product. If it is not meeting the demand, if you need a phone which needs if you have a hobby of photography and you're going on travel and you need like 100 photographs to post on your Instagram, you need a good phone. You need a good phone with good camera, right? Otherwise, it doesn't make sense, right? If your basic need of a phone is just to communicate, like it used to be 10 years before with my father. He never used to use his camera. I don't know if he's hearing. Yeah, he's here. He never used to use his camera on the phone. The basic thing was, his demand was कि मेरा phone चला जाना चाहिए, communication हो जाना चाहिए, WhatsApp should work. That's all. So there were a lot of phones. So most of the people actually look at these two as the biggest thing. So when you're developing a new product, feature of a product and price of the product, affordability is a big things that you have to keep in mind. I mean, your product may be really good, but if it is not priced for the target market that you are thinking of selling it to, your product will not work, right? Your product has to. So imagine if there is a father or a new father or a new mother, and they have to take care of a child, they have to sell Cerelac to them. If you put a Cerelac box at 5,000 rupees per packet, do you think it is going to make sense? A packet which is going to get over every 10 days. It needs to be in the market segment of, let's say, 200 rupees per packet maximum. Let's say 200. When it is a very good quality Cerelac, it has to be like 300, 350 maximum. Otherwise, nobody is even going to touch your product. Affordability is a big problem. Not a big problem for the product developers. They have to understand and gauge the market, right? Can you give me an example under affordability, how that has affected Indian market? What is the biggest change that has changed affordability factor for people? Think.
Ma'am, EMIs.
Yes, the EMIs options. So Guneet is very right, and he has an iPhone, so maybe he took it on iPhone. Did you? Okay, so what used to happen before was an iPhone which is coming out to be like 80,000, 1 lakh rupees. It is still not affordable for all of us, right? But many of us will have an iPhone today. Why? Because we have got an option to buy things on EMI. That is the biggest change which has changed the platform of affordability across all the segments. So a person, earlier iPhone used to be a status symbol. It still is. And that's why I think most people buy it, isn't it? You have an iPhone and you feel good about it. Nobody knows कि आपको आपकी kidney बेचनी पड़ी है उसको खरीदने के लिए. Nobody cares about it, right? Affordability has been changed because of introduction of EMI options across the platforms. EMI, इसी वजह से, that is why your loan intakes have gone up. You're taking loan, and because you can now, it's kind of a subscription, isn't it? So you have got the phone, but you're paying the subscription monthly on it. Kind of subscription model, or you can call EMI model, that has changed affordability. Now iPhone and niche products like these can be marketed to developing countries also. India never used to be a very big target market for iPhones, but it now is. India, you remember the last Flipkart sale? I think there was a sale of like more than 1 lakh on one particular day of iPhones on the Flipkart sale. I don't know how much that sale would happen today, but this year, but last year it was like that. So affordability of niche products, of high-end products has definitely gone, and people can now, the companies who are innovating can now actually price their products accordingly how they wanted, and also target the change their segment. So earlier they only used to target the upper segment people who could actually afford it in one go. Now they can target the bigger segment, right? So these two are big features. What else? What else does a company have to think or keep in mind while they are developing a product? These two are biggest. What else?
competitors.
What about competitors? In what sense?
Already existing competitors in the market. Like
Hmm.
what are their highest competition in the market, and according to that they have to set their strategies, pricing, and everything.
Yes, yes. So again, if the biggest phone examples are Apple and Samsung, right? Samsung comes out with a flip phone, obviously, and then even when they come out with such a very good phone, it's not like they can price their phone at 1,50,000. Do you think anybody will buy that? Nobody will, right? So you have to look, you have to kind of benchmark yourself according to feature, according to price with your competitor. That was a good point, Shreya, because you have to know how much can you stretch, how much can you go up, and what is that breaking point at which the customer will say, nah, this is not a, I mean, doesn't make sense to me now. If I am the customer, I'll be like, my budget is 50,000. 50,000 में कौन सा phone आ जाएगा? I am that kind of a budget seeker. If it becomes 50,200 rupees, I won't buy it. But my husband is opposite. So he is like, new iPhone is in the, he's like, Balaji, he's like, September mein new iPhone launch is going to happen. How can I sell your existing iPhone and buy a new one? He's behind my phone now. That's how the kind of customer he is. So obviously it's going to be a very thin line between what becomes affordable, how much can you stretch on it, and then what is completely out of the blue that nobody is going to buy it. So you have to kind of keep it in the range with your customers, with your competitors. You can stretch it a little bit, but you need to know how can you benchmark, right? That's a good point. What else?
Target market, who is the product for, or you can say understanding their demographic, what are their needs and preference, what is crucial and what is not crucial.
Why do we
We have to think
understand all
about
of
that.
this? Yeah, why do we
Uh,
try to understand all of that? Just to
uh,
understand the pricing? How do we price it?
Ma'am, also to make if there is a segment that is not gonna enjoy the product, if we are
Hmm.
not thinking about the customer, if we are not thinking about the customer segments, they are not gonna entertain our product at all.
Okay, okay. Makes sense. So that comes back to features, isn't it? If
Yeah.
we don't understand our people, who is the target market, we are not going to understand what they want, what features do they want, and then they're not going to enjoy the product, right? Comes back to these two again. What else?
What is the USP we can offer? How different USP we can offer from our
Yes,
other
that is again
competitors?
feature.
It will come under competitors and
Yes, yes. So USP, every product is going to have some or the other USP, right? So you need to highlight those USP in order for you to stand different from other products, obviously. So that again comes under feature. USP is what? USP can be, uh, oh, time slot is 60 minutes. I didn't know. I thought it was 1.5 hours. Oh, we are going slow. Okay.
It's
I just
1 hour.
got a prompt from your Pandey sir that time slot is just 60 minutes. I didn't know. I thought it was 90 minutes. Okay. So we will try and go a little faster. Okay. What I'm looking for next is, those were some very good points. Next point was customer requirements of what you guys said, right? If demand is not there, you're not going to flourish in the market. So what best I could find in this particular what do you say point was, how many of guys do you go to Zudio and buy stuff? I can see Manya,
Almost
Shreya,
everyone.
okay, Jasmeet, all girls, no boys. Balaji also, chalo, good. Okay, makes sense. So Zudio has kind of captured urban imagination, isn't it? They are giving you products as good as H&M and other brands, but so affordable. Their jeans costs 800 rupees. And that too, the product quality is so good, right? So it kind of baffles your mind that this kind of product quality can actually come in such affordable prices, right? This was a segment nobody had tapped, and that's why they have been able to just taking care of your minute things of your product of scale, of your pricing, location, taking care of smallest of things. There's a very good case study on LinkedIn. I'll share the link with Pandey sir and he can give you guys, read about it. That particular article talks about how Zudio has been able to make an impact. They have more than 350 or 380 store locations now. That's a big chain now. And they are able to, keep up with the fast fashion with any other brand that there can be. And people like us can afford it now on a regular basis, right? So that was a demand which was already there in the Indian market and nobody was able to tap it. They were able to tap it, right? So customer demand and where the gap is between what the demand is and what the supply already is existing. If you can tap that thing, market is yours. That entire segment is yours, right? Next point, what a company has to take in consideration is your own organization and what you are exactly known for. So BlackBerry phones, what were they known for? Encryption and security. Imagine if BlackBerry phone started becoming like any other Android, Samsung phone. Wouldn't sell, right? All right. So going ahead, what else? So imagine if Tata Cars, what is the biggest thing that you know about Tata Cars, Tata Motors? The best thing that they provide?
Safety.
Yes, exactly.
Durability.
Samanvaya Jain. Okay, good point. Safety. So if Tata Motors comes out with any car which is below 5-star rating, do you think anybody is going to buy? Because they expect that level of feature from you. They're already expecting it, that whatever your company is known for, that becomes your minimum benchmark. You have to meet that, and then you have to take care of everything above it, right? These 3-4 things, I think the point of your competitor and benchmarking, I'll add that here. That was a good point. I had not thought of that. So obviously we're going to add that and I'll share the PPT. Next, we talk about why is it needed? Product development. So we already spoke about this a little bit. We spoke about customer needs drive innovation, right? That's the biggest thing. Competition hota hai, you have competition. Somebody else is coming out with new kind of product. If you are not keeping up, you're going to die in the market. Nokia is the biggest example of it. A company which was that big, it was not able to just keep up with how fast the tech market was going ahead, right? Second is, the product has to keep up with the ever-evolving market scenario. What else can we think about? What example?
But when we talk about like any product, like Apple came with Vision Pro, but they were not able to succeed. When we make a product which is not a market fit because the market itself is not ready. When Google also came with the
Exactly.
Google Lens, the market was
Yes.
not ready at that time. So how can a company can overcome that? Because being Apple such a big research and everything, all those being the data mine and having arabs of crores of money, then also they did that such a big
They failed.
mistake.
A lot of things happen like this in the market. So Samanvaya, I'll take that question at the last. Okay, park that question. We'll answer that at the last. What was I talking about? Okay, let's go to the next point. The next point, what drives innovation is your own diversification. So let's say there is an general insurance company which we have, right? If that general insurance company has the license to sell all kinds of product, but it is only selling motor and health, is it ever going to make profits? It won't, because in insurance, health and motor are the biggest bleeders for them. That means the loss ratios are always above 100. So if you're not going to diversify your product, if you're not going to come out with products, let's say fire or liability kind of products, which actually give you a good margin, the loss ratios are really, really low in those segments, you're not going to be able to make profits as the whole. So you need to diversify your portfolio, your offerings, thinking in mind, obviously, all the other things will get into picture. You need to take care of your diverse portfolio in order to succeed. Otherwise, sometimes just to lower your costs, you guys know, I don't know if I'm using the correct market term or not, but shorting. If you have bought, let's say 100, what do you call, 100 stocks of a particular stock, and it starts making losses, what do you do at that point of time? The price has gone really low. What will you do? Just, this is not a very convenient thing to do, but then some people actually buy a lot of the same stock so that the average pricing goes down, so that your losses go down. Right? Guneet is agreeing. Have you done it? Okay. Change in demand, of course, we spoke about this. Demand is one of the biggest drivers of an innovation or a new product development, right? And regulatory environment. In our case, for our industry specifically, regulatory environment is one of the biggest drivers actually of innovation or new product. I'm not going to say innovation, because it is not always innovation which drives new product. Okay, sometimes it's just your regulator saying you need to make these changes and you have to do it. We'll look about all those changes. I think in the past 4 years, the biggest innovator in our industry has been our regulator. You'll see why. You will get to learn why. Okay. And refiling, old product current needs. We'll talk about this later. Then you'll know why am I skipping this one. And yes, somebody had said your own technological advances. I think I remember somebody saying it. Your own capabilities are going to determine whether you are going to be able to give this feature or not. Okay, remind me, I'll talk about this. ICICI Lombard was a big example of this. So ICICI Lombard, just giving you an example, it's a very huge company, but at times what happens is, I can see Kumar Gaurav sir. Hello, sir. What happens
Hi,
with
Varsha.
Hello, sir. I hope you're doing
Continue,
well.
please.
Thanks.
Yeah, I
sir.
wanted to hear you. Continue,
Oh,
please.
okay. So ICICI Lombard, what happens is, they are a very huge company. They are one of the biggest company in the market, but they are kind of technologically challenged because they have a legacy system and they have already a very big system and it follows patchworks, so they are not able to overhaul their systems overnight or within a week or within a month even. It takes them a lot of time for making any kind of changes, and that used to constrict us as new product developments department to take care that this cannot happen in this time frame with our system, so we will not be able to give this product. So your own capability also determines or takes care, you have to take care of your own capability while developing a new product, right? Next we go, what are the departments? So now we are switching, let's switch our minds to yeah, Pandey sir is writing something. Okay, so now we are going to switch our mind from general industries, any kind of industries, to insurance industry. Okay, I know it's kind of new for you guys, but I want you to think a little bit. It's going to be interactive again. Okay, there are some departments. So we are switching now to insurance industry, and we are going to talk about what are the departments which are involved in a new product development in insurance industry, and what is the entire process of product development in insurance. Okay, so all the points that we talk about for other industries also determines what is going to drive innovation or new product development in insurance also, apart from obviously regulatory body is driving a lot of innovation in our industry. I'll give you example from 5-7 years. Okay, let's talk about some of the departments which are involved. So which departments do you guys think are involved in the product development? It's obviously going to be a new product development department which is going to do all the work, but then we have to liaison with a lot of different departments. Yeah, Jasmine, come on.
R&D, research and development department.
Yes, so if you have a separate research and development department, otherwise that was our job in new product development. So benchmarking, understanding where our products are stacked, what are the places that we as a company do not provide services right now, or our products are not there. We had to do all those kind of research. But some of the insurance companies also take care or let's say, outsource this kind of work to the market research companies which are there. You guys will also study market research in coming months, and it's going to be really fun subject. So you guys will, so we also had to sometimes collaborate with outsiders, tell them that we are going to come up with this kind of product. Can you test it in the market and tell us the feedback? Not exactly test, but then again, get feedback from the market and tell us whether it is going to be acceptable or not. So yes, research and development, we used to do it. Otherwise, you can always outsource it. What else?
Finance department also, maybe for the budgeting part, like how much expense you have to allocate for the development or the research of the new product.
Yes, very good, very good. Finance department, you guys know why, just told. Budgeting, whether we can do it or not. So budgeting of development of systems, you said. So which else department comes already into the picture? Others. Jasmeet will keep quiet now for 5 minutes. Others. Praveen, yes, Praveen is back with his own name. Okay, great. What other things? Aren't we going to price a product? Which is the department which takes care of pricing a product in an insurance company? Anushri just said something, but I can't hear it. I think you're right. Say it.
Actually,
Actuary, yes. Samanvaya, yes. Aman Kumar is also writing actuarial. So actuarial department plays, let's say, 60-40 kind of a role. So new product development department takes care of, let's say, 60. So actuarial department is taking care of 40% of the role, because like we said, feature and pricing are one of the two biggest what do you call, pulls that a person looks at, right? Feature has to be correct, pricing has to be correct too. So actuarial department does a lot of work while developing a new product in the market, insurance market. Who else? Where are you going to get to understand your customer demands from? Who will tell you that?
Marketing department.
Yes. So not exactly marketing, but sales. Marketing and sales are different. When it comes to, when you actually go into the industry, you will know. So Shubham, good point. So I think he means sales. Sales is going to be your biggest, what do you call, critique, your biggest back thak pane wale jo bolte hain, and they are going to be your biggest source of understanding of your market, your agents, your brokers. What data can you pull from your websites? Maybe, you know, all this kind of data is going to, agent will come back and say that I understand we have all these kind of products, but can we come up with this product because the person is asking for this kind of product? You know, if 40% of the people are diabetic in the range after 40 years, they are going to ask for a product which covers diabetes from first day, right? In the health insurance I'm talking about, health insurance mein. So this kind of feedback comes from all kinds of sales channels that you have. Your bank assurance partners. Bank assurance means the banks which you are partnering with, your brokers, your agents, your online selling, your affinity partners. You know, they are going to tell you what the demand is. Who else? You are developing systems. Your product is going to be set up in your system for it to work. Which department does that?
IT department.
Yes, IT. IT is, again, you need to know your own capabilities and how much you can do in a particular amount of time in order to see whether it is even feasible for you to come up with that kind of product or not, right? And IT, again, if your systems are failing in this time and stage, imagine you did all the marketing you could for your market, you know, and people are excited about it, and the iPhones have not even reached the stores. Imagine the hue and cry. Can you imagine? People actually line up to buy iPhones, and imagine if the iPhones are not available. Similarly, you did all the marketing you could for your health product, let's say, okay, and people actually have the demand and they are willing to buy it, but then suddenly on the date of the launch your system crashes. Can you imagine the bad marketing that will happen? that they are not even able to handle sales. How are they going to handle my claims? So that one mistake is going to blow off your market completely. So systems play a big role. Your IT department, your system robustness plays a big role. And we as a new product development managers, we interact with IT people a lot. Okay, who else? You remember our industry is a very regulated industry, right? What are the things we are supposed to take care of? IRDAI, exactly. So IRDAI is regulating, they are coming out with circulars, regulations every now and then. Okay, so you are supposed to make sure that you're meeting with all the laws, all the regulations, all the circulars which have come over last 25 years. Okay, sometimes, most of the times actually, insurance companies, the new product development department itself will take care of it. But in some companies like Max Bupa, I remember, we had compliance department do it for us. So we were the first, we used to make sure that we are complying with all the regulations, all the laws, but they were the second kind of checkers for us. They will make sure that everything is being complied. Okay, so this is an added kind of layer of defense, you can say. Companies Act 2013, yes, Kritika. Again, your legal and compliance department is going to make sure that you're going to comply with all the needs, and you're not actually being a company which is breaking the rules and then end up, even before sales, you end up incurring penalties, right? Who else? Think.
Government policies.
Again, I would
Tax
put it under
policies.
legal and compliance. Yes, government policies, you again have to take care of it. Okay, let's look at the points. You guys are running out of points now. So obviously sales, because you have to know the demand, or you have to know what is not working in your policy, so that next time when you innovate, you can just move away with that feature, because every feature is going to incur some price, some cost, right? Sometimes some of the features, let's say health insurance, one feature is there, let's say OPD. One company has come up with an OPD feature. And let's say we get to know that only 5% of the people are actually utilizing it. Do you think it makes sense to actually keep that feature for the other 95% people also? It doesn't.
No,
It incurs a cost. It increases your health insurance price, and only 5% people, 5% is still a big number. 5% people are, yeah, 5% people are only taking care of it. So sometimes you come up with also things that you do not need to keep the features in the next kind of revision of your product. Okay, so sales department is going to be the backbone of your demand, and they're going to come back and tell you sales. I'm just writing sales here, but you have to understand it can be your agent, bank assurance, affinity partners, your own website, brokers, anyone, okay, who is selling your product. Next is IT. We talked about IT, right? Next is actuarial. We'll know in the actuarial, in the process slide next, how actuarial plays a big role. Okay. Underwriting and claims. Okay. I am going to delete that. Talk about it. Do you guys know about what underwriting department is? Do you guys know what claims department is? इतना तो थोड़ा पढ़ लिया होगा ना अब तो.
Underwriting is mostly about like issuing the policy and drafting the policy as per that they have guidelines.
No.
Assessment risk.
Assessment
What
of
is underwriting?
assessment
they quantify risk.
underwriting department.
Yes. Balaji is right. Astha is trying to say something. We couldn't hear you.
Assessment of risk is done by underwriting department.
Yes, exactly. So once you have come out with, Harshit is also right. Once you have come out with a particular product, underwriting department thinks whenever a particular proposal comes in, underwriting department scrutinizes each and every proposal to see whether it fits in our window or not. This is a very good risk, so we will price it here. This is a slightly higher risk, so we are going to price it here. This is a too much of risk, we can't take it, we are going to price it here, and the customer goes, right? So underwriting department, apart from assessing the risk and pricing it, of course, they also come up with things to us saying that we have, let's say underwriting department is rejecting policies because most of the customers are coming with diabetes problems, and we as a product do not give diabetes as a coverage, let's say. Okay, for simplifying sake, we do give it, but let's say we don't give it. So underwriting department is going to come up to you and tell that we are getting 10 proposals a day and we are rejecting 4 out of them just because they have diabetes. Why don't you come up with a product which covers diabetes also, right? You can price it higher, but then we should have a product for it, right? So your underwriting department, when they are going through their own data, what kind of rejections they made, what kind of higher pricing they're doing, so that kind of data, when you crunch those kind of data, it comes up as an input for your own feature understanding. How can we make changes in the features? What else can we bring in? What can we delete? Claims department will tell you what can you delete, what is not being used at all in the health or in any kind of thing, you know. All this kind of data from underwriting and claims department can help you price your product better and also understand whether this particular feature is working or not, or what else is being in demand, what are we rejecting, so that we can take that target market. Okay, that is underwriting and claims department for you. And then we talked about legal and compliance, of course, just to make sure that everything you're taking care of, all the legal and compliances issues. Okay, next we'll talk about what kind. So in insurance industry, up till 2 years ago, I think 2 years or 2.5 years ago, there used to be two things. So before you are coming out with a new insurance product, IRDAI used to say that you have to show the product to us first. What is the feature you are selling? How are you pricing it? Are you keeping too much of pricing margins? You know, are your expenses too much, etc., etc. So they used to scrutinize everything. How are you going to market it? Who is your target market? You know, so they would try to understand your product inside out, and they would try to understand how are you pricing it? Is your pricing correct or not? Even that, I'm sorry. Okay, so first, even before you could launch your product in the market, you have to go to IRDAI to say that we are coming up with this kind of product. That is called, in insurance jargon, it is called filing a product with IRDAI, file and use method. Yes, somebody knows insurance. Aman Kumar, good. So when we have to file a product with the IRDAI, and once they scrutinize it, okay, and once they are okay with it, okay, we understand the features, we understand the pricing, you can go ahead. We get something called as UIN of the policy, unique identification number. Okay, every product in the insurance industry has its own UIN. Very trivial fact, if you, whenever you see an advertisement on the TV of any insurance company or product, let's say, when they give that disclaimer, no, insurance policy is subject to solicitation, blah, 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 they read that fast. You will always see a tiny UIN number written down for the product. Try looking for it if you can find it. So every particular product, it's like VIN number for cards. VIN number becomes too much, but kind of that. So every particular product which is coming out has its own unique identification number. And once you have got the unique identification number from IRDAI, it means it's good to go. You can launch it. Earlier, what used to happen was, the guideline was, once you have got the UIN or the go ahead from IRDAI, you have to launch a product within 6 months. Okay, otherwise 6 months may, what will happen? Your market changes. Somebody else would have come up with the product. Your pricing goes haywire, right? So 6 months usually used to be given as a time for people to, companies to launch the product after getting their initial okay from IRDAI. Okay, there used to be two kinds of filing before. Like I think Aman said, there used to be file and use. So you have to, it usually used to work in the customer segment. Okay, for people like us who are going to directly buy an insurance company, not buy insurance company, insurance policy. Okay, so that was the retail space, B2C. B2C it's called, business to customer. The B2C segment of insurance company or any kind of product that you're coming up in this segment, you had to first file it, take approval from insurance regulator, and then only you can launch it. That was the procedure. And that scrutiny that can take anywhere, I had seen anywhere from 2.5 months to 9 months or even 15 months. If it goes up to that time, it doesn't make sense to launch it again because of inflation, demand has changed, specifically pricing, you know. So it used to take, sometimes it takes months on the go for IRDAI to scrutinize your product and say, okay, we are now okay with it. Okay, that was file and use. You have to file, take okay, and then use it. The next segment was use and file. It was used for group products. Okay, why do you think this was given to group products? So when I'm talking about group products, what am I talking about? Any example?
ULIP.
GPA. Aman is saying GPA. Samanvaya. No. ULIP. Again, ULIP is a kind of product. I'm talking about specific target segment. This we are talking about target segments right now. We are talking about individual customers and we are talking about group customers. Aman wrote GPA. What does GPA mean? Aman, speak up.
Group
What is
personal
GPA?
accident.
Exactly. So it says group personal accident. So group health, group life, group personal accident. Who are they covering? What exactly is the group is what I'm asking. Why are we calling it a group product?
Because it covers a lot of people under a single policy. Like
yes, exactly. Exactly. Good, Aman. So you guys, as a group, which is called the students of BIMTech, insurance business management, you guys are covered under one policy which BIMTech takes. So in case you guys get injured or any problem, you guys are covered under health policy that BIMTech has taken for you guys. Okay. So you guys are already a group which is existing already. And that group goes to take an insurance that becomes a group policy. Now, you all have individual policies in your names, but did you go to the insurance company to buy it or understand what the terms and features or pricing is? No, right? Maybe some of you don't even know you have a group policy. Okay, that's because BIMTech did that job for you. They are capable enough to understand the features, to understand pricing, and they did all the negotiations they could do with insurance company to get you this product, right? That is why it is called a group product. It is one policy which is taken by the company or group administrator or whoever, the entity for all its people. That's why it's called a group product. Now, group product advantage, like I said, the administrator is usually supposed to be, adept in understanding insurance terms, what features that we are looking for. We have, let's say, LIC group. Okay, LIC has, I don't know, I can't even imagine how many employees are there. Okay, and LIC ka health insurance portfolio, LIC used to insure their own employees for up to 30 lakhs of sum insured at a percentage. I don't know what sum insured they have right now, but in 2015-16, I remember their premium only was 250 crores. Imagine, only their premium that they were paying was 250 crores. So you can imagine how big. So as a LIC, as an institute, when it goes to negotiate with another company to say we have thousands of or lakhs of employees in our employment and we want to take, they have some kind of negotiation power. They are giving that bigger money. They are going to have people in their own HR departments who actually understand insurance, right? I'm talking about, let's say, only health. There would be people who understand life, group life. There would be people who will be taking all kinds of cyber insurance, liability insurance, some cars, or things which are there, property insurance. So these big companies have entire insurance departments under their HR departments who know what they're doing. They understand insurance and they are going to negotiate with the company. So in this kind of case, group insurance, it is usually understood that these people know and understand what they are negotiating. Okay, so IRDA says you can go ahead and pitch a product directly. You can go ahead, pitch a product, and you negotiate with them because they have the understanding of the product and what they are looking for, and later you can file the product with us. Okay, so that kind of flexibility was there earlier for only group products. Okay, there has been a big change in this process. Can anybody say what? Does anybody know? Everyone's camera has been off except Nisha. Where is everybody? I know it's getting tiring. Yes, welcome back. There has been a big change. 2 years back, what IRDAI did was, in order to make the, what do you call it, more competitive, fast, and innovation driven, what IRDAI did was, they went out with file and use. So now even the retail policies, now what you can do is, you can get the UIN. You can just tell them that we are coming up with a policy. They'll give you the UIN. You can launch the policy, and after that you can give the details and all the documents for them to scrutinize. Okay, what change has happened here is, the kind of responsibility which was there on IRDAI before, that they have to make sure that the product is good, they have to make sure that product is not taking advantage of their policy holders, right? That onus has been shifted now to a company's PMC. I'm forgetting the, I remembered. So I'll tell you. So PMC is again a group of people, high level people. Sample group 500 since COVID. Yes, sandbox is another thing. We'll talk about it. So PMC is kind of a group of people of high level. Your underwriting heads, your claims head, your own directors, your CEOs, actuarial head, they make up. And PMC, yes, product management committee. Thank you, sir. Product management committee, they constitute all of these people. Out of this, you can even have, I think, even independent people to come and consult you on this. Now that responsibility of taking care of policy holders and their protection has shifted from IRDAI to PMC. Now PMC is going to take care and make sure that all the things which are, being sold out, it's actually in policyholders' protection, or in their advantage. They can't just say, yes. So HOD of actuarial, investment, underwriting, sales are compulsory members of the PMC. Thank you, sir, for adding that. You guys can read more about it. Okay. So that that onus of responsibility has shifted from IRDAI to PMC now. IRDAI says, you guys are heads of these lines of business. You guys know what you guys are doing. We can't keep checking all the time. You guys have to be responsible. Okay. So now what has happened is, use and file is being used everywhere. It is just that once you get the UIN, you have to launch and give all the documentation to the IRDAI within 30 days. This is what I know is the latest. So you file and use has gone out of the window now. It's only use and file now. Okay. Is this use and file feature also available for all types of life products now? One is asking. I'll check and get back to you on this. I think it is. At least in health it was. Health regulation mein change hua tha, but life, I think Manoj sir can tell you more about it if it has been done. Otherwise, I'll check and get back. I'm not sure about it. Okay. Now we talk about how the process goes. We'll just take about 5 to 10 minutes. 15 minutes to go. Okay, thanks. My husband is telling, rush off, you have 15 minutes to go. Okay, so let's talk about how the product development actually happens, the process of it, or what I used to think it happens. It happens very differently in different markets. Okay, so in India, what usually happens is you have a product development department or just underwriting department, which also has some people who take care of product development. Okay, so there may not be a specific product development department. How it starts is you have to understand, again, research team. I think Jasmeet or Nisha said you have to have your research done. You have to know what you're getting into. If you do not have, let's say, a product for senior citizens, there are old people in the market and nobody insures them. If you as a company can tap that market fast or first, you can take all that advantage, right? So you have to understand where is the gap in the market. You have to understand where is the gap in your own portfolio, in your own bouquet of things that you are, or product that you are selling. If you have a gap in your own portfolio, you can always yes, you can read what sir is saying. Okay, you can always tap that gap wherever it is. Okay, so that kind of research benchmarking is needed to be done before you start on any kind of product. You need to understand where you're getting into. Okay, second is scanning the market. Of course, you might think that there is a gap, but there might be a company which is already providing that policy. Okay, and if that policy is already there, why is it not working for that company? Okay, so sometimes you call up your friends in another company, क्या हुआ भाई, क्यों नहीं चल रहा प्रोडक्ट, कहाँ प्रॉब्लम आ रही है? ये ऐसा होता है, तुम लोग एक दूसरे को कॉल करोगे, समझोगे ये चीज. Okay, it will happen. Harshit is laughing. But it will happen. Okay, so sometimes product is already there in the market, but that gap is also there. So that means the product which is there, it's not doing its job, it's not meeting the requirements. So you need to understand where your competitor went wrong. Okay, so you have to scan the market, understand the features of the policies that they are giving. Maybe those features are not working. Maybe we can tweak the features and come up with new features, right? So you have to first scan the market, second scan your own portfolio, and third scan the already existing things which are there. Okay, their features, pricing, understand from the market what is not working, if it is not working. Okay, and then yes, so after all of this research is done by us or the R&D department or the underwriting department, in some cases, we come up with an idea of saying, we are thinking of coming up with this kind of health product with these features, and I think the pricing would be in this price range. And then we give it back to sales. In some companies, we did not used to, but in some, it's better to do it. We give it back to sales, all the channels that you have, to understand and gauge, okay, do they agree with what we are thinking? Do I as a company, even stand up for the feature that we say that we are going to give? Or the sales people, are they actually seeing this kind of demand, what we are thinking we'll provide? Okay, so that kind of feedback comes. When that feedback comes, you have to again change your features. Okay, next what happens is we come up with a specific, after all of this feedback has gone out. So not only sales, you can give this feature, kind of things to even your underwriting, your claims, your actuarial department, anyone, for some kind of feedback. Feedback is always good. Feedback is never bad. Good or bad, it's always good. It's in your favor. So welcome feedback from everywhere. We get feedback from all the departments, and then we come up with something called benefit table. Now, this is where the actual work of a product being done has shifted to this. Now we are actually building a product. Okay, everything else was, before this, was research. Now, when you come up with a benefit table, you can actually download any policy from, let's say, because I have worked in health, so it's easier for me to give you examples about health insurance. You can go to Max Bupa, ICICI Lombard, any policy, download their policy document, not brochure. Download their policy document, specifically Max Bupa. At the end of the policy, you can always see a benefit table or benefit structure, whatever the thing is. You will get to know in the table itself what the entire product is. Once that has been set in the process, then it goes to pricing it. It goes to actuarial department to say, this is what the product is going to be, please price it. Now pricing is going to depend on the feature. So let's say if a company is giving maternity benefit extra, obviously it's going to price higher, right? If the product is saying that we'll give you out of pocket expenses, OPD expenses, it's obviously going to price higher, right? Again, actuarial department has its own data at the back, because they are the ones who price it, right? The mortality table, the morbidity tables, which have been there, how many people fall sick. Okay, so this kind of thing. So you have to take care, they have to take care of all the morbidity, mortality tables which are there, and again take care of all the data that they get from, they also keep in touch with sales, underwriting, everyone. So they get data from everywhere to price the product, whether we should be pricing this particular feature high or low, so they get all kind of data. So they will start pricing on the side. Okay. Now what happens while they are sitting and pricing the product, claims and underwriting will go and check whether all the features are according to market requirements, or what we had told, what we had given as a, what do you say? Feedback to the new product development department. Legal and compliance department, I think I've missed a step here. I think I'll write it. So while all of this is happening, let's go back to pricing. While the actuarial department we have given the benefit table to actuarial department, that this is going to be the benefit of the features of the product. While they are pricing it, what the new product development department does is, we sit and make all the documents which are required for filing. So your prospectus, your policy terms, conditions, your proposal forms, your, what do you call, what else was there? Policy schedule, certificate of insurance, your marketing strategies, all these documents have to be submitted for filing. So while they are doing the pricing, the new product development department will sit and do all the documentation. Okay, it happens parallelly. Now we will share all the documents that we have made to all the departments for review. Okay, and they will share the pricing to us and all the departments to review. That's how it's a very continuous process. Okay, everybody takes feedback from everyone for their own work. It's a very homogeneous kind of department, new product development. Okay, legal and compliance department will say that, oh, this regulation had come in 2013, you are not complying, do you want us to get fines? They'll come up with their own feedback. Okay, so all kind of feedbacks we get from all kinds of departments, and we make changes. It's a continuous process. Yahan se feedback aaya, you make change. There comes another feedback, you make change. It's a continuous process which happens. Pricing pe bahut discussions hoti hain. You have like endless discussion on pricing, because a health insurance is not priced like 5 lakh will be 5,000 rupees. No, 5 lakh will be 5,000 rupees for for a male of this age who is in a good condition or good health. And then you have all the factors which comes in. So you have like 20 pages of pricing happening. Okay, everybody gives it's a whole lot of discussion which happens. Sometimes we go back to the research development people to show that this is the feature that we have come up with, and this is the pricing that we are thinking. It is not an idea. Now this is a concrete product. Now can you tell us whether this will happen or not? Okay, sometimes we also do that. Okay, next comes, now when all of this is done and everything is ready, what you have to do is you have to call a PMC meeting, which is mandatory now. Earlier, what used to happen was you have to call a PMC meeting. It has to be the minutes. It's like a board meeting for new product. Okay, everything has to be taken care of. Minutes of meeting are to be written. Whatever was discussed in that meeting has to be documented. And everything after this, all the documents, pricing, everything goes to IRDAI to file. Okay, earlier what used to happen, we used to do file and use. So we will file the product. While the IRDAI is looking at the product, we will go back to IT department then. that, okay, they are taking care of the product, they're looking at the product, we need to build a system for it. System building takes anywhere from 15 days to a year. So again, depends on what kind of feature that you're going to give. Okay, so IRDAI is doing its scrutiny. At the back, IT department is doing its job. We are in continuous connect with the IT department because we know what the feature is and how it's going to work. Underwriting department has its own inputs to give, right? Actuarial department is going to check whether the premium that we are inputting it's coming out correct or not. So it's a whole system development is a whole big challenge. Okay, meanwhile this is happening. Sometimes what used to happen before was IRDAI will come back with questions saying that why is this particular feature like this, why are you not including coverage for HIV people? We had said to include coverage for HIV people, why aren't you giving it now? We'll go back to, we are giving it, but we are giving, say, 50% of sum insured. Then they will come back saying, why 50%? Why not 100%? You know, sometimes that kind of to and fro happens. And that can take anywhere from 15 days to 9 months, 1 year. Okay, it used to be a long process. I don't know how much it is right now because I haven't worked in India for a year. So I don't know. But I think it has gone better because now you are into file and use. Sorry, use and file, right? So you take the UIN, you launch the product, and because the onus and responsibility of everything going correct is on you, so you have to make sure everything is robust before you launch it. Otherwise, IRDAI can always come back and penalize you, okay? Because they are, obviously, you do not need their permission to launch a product now, but even after launch, if they think that it is not correct, they can always come back and penalize you in some or the other way, or they can say that you have to make that change, okay? Next is, again, marketing department takes over. Rather than takes over, new development department, actuarial department, we work with marketing department to now understand how are we going to advertise the product. Where all are we going to advertise it? Instagram पे करना है कि नहीं करना है? Instagram पे जो लोग बैठे हैं, are they even going to buy a health insurance or not? You know, or health insurance is going to be bought by moms and dads of the family. Where are they available? They are on Facebook still. They haven't moved to Instagram, right? So you have to do that kind of understanding with the marketing department, make advertisements, make training decks for sales training, etc. All of that happens meanwhile. And then finally you launch the product. Okay. Once you launch the product, the work is just started, because then you'll get to know whether the product is actually working or not. Okay. All that feedback will start coming in. What the hell have you made? And then we'll have to sit and talk. You only said to make this product. Okay. Then they will come up with another kind of feedback. That becomes a basis for your next product development. Okay. You sit with sales, you sit and understand, you train them that, okay, we think that you are selling this product wrong. Why not highlight this particular feature to sell it? Expected or not, whether a particular channel is doing its job or not, or whether they are able to sell or not. If not, then you conduct their trainings. We as people used to conduct their trainings on product, understand where is it going wrong. Sometimes what used to happen is you get all of this data within like 6 months or 3 months, you start seeing particular area claiming a lot. So let's say Delhi ke log have started claiming a lot from this policy. They found a loophole in the policy. You stop selling in policies in the Delhi. Then you tell all the channels in Delhi that you're not going to sell it. All of it happens. It's called product portfolio management. All of this happens after a product has been launched. All of these things, minute things happen. So feedback of the product helps in determining the market standing of the product. So feedback is always welcome. Good, bad, ugly, everything. Okay. And you keep doing, you have to make reports. So even before launch, sometimes you have to make sure that all of these kind of product reports will be available. So you have to set in those product reports before the launch happens, so that it takes the data from the website and everything. Okay. So yeah, it's a continuous process. So whatever you learn from this process, it goes to next product development process. all your learning. Sometimes the product fails. I think somebody had asked, I don't know who had, but sometimes products do fail. We had seen there is a very, very good product which came ahead of its market. It's called Go Active, product from Max Bupa. I think it came way back in 2015 or something, and it had such good features. It was kind of a product for us, people who are in young age, who are taking care of their health and who have started working and want health insurance. They had beautiful features, but that tanked. It tanked, and we got to know, we got to understand why is it not happening. We were the first movers in that kind of segment. Okay, the market was just not ready for it. And later, just 2 years later, those kind of features started picking in. And then the competitors also started, all the other health insurance companies, general insurance companies started taking all those features and pricing it. Okay, so sometimes as the first mover, you have the biggest kind of risk. If it hits the market and if it is a hit, then you get all kinds of advantages. But if it tanks, it takes down your company also. Again, feedback, you got to do all the trainings, you got to do meetings to understand kahan problem ho rahi hai, where is the problem, where is the issue, where did we go wrong. Do market research again after post launch to see what happened, where did we go wrong. Come back, work on the next product. That's all you can do, at least in health insurance is what I know. Okay. All right, I'm open to questions. Conclusion. Ab itna tum log karo. Okay. Okay, questions, people.
Like, we can go for the question and answering session informally after the vote of thanks.
Okay, sure. Okay.
Okay. Okay. Thank you so much for this
Good
wonderful
evening,
session.
everyone.
Okay, you both can thank me.
So
Good evening,
I'll
everyone. I would like to thank Ms. Varsha Pandey for her fantastic masterclass on new product development. Ma'am's insights into developing new innovative health insurance products were very helpful. Her clear explanations on new product development and why it is necessary and what are the departments involved and how it is done gave us a lot to think about and apply in our work. Thank you, ma'am, for sharing your knowledge and making this session so valuable. We truly appreciate your time and expertise. And also thanks to Manoj sir for this great opportunity. And I'm thanking everyone who have joined us today and make this meeting a successful meet. Thank you, everyone.
I would also like to thank the class.